Marathons are a running affair. People have been running them for generations, and each year there are over 500,000 marathon finishers in the US alone. But what is the most common marathon finishing time and why? It's easy to get data to find out the most common finishing time. After all, every major city has a marathon. In fact, there's probably no escape from seeing a marathon, no matter how fast you run, even if you're in Pyongyang. 4 researchers gathered 10 million chip timings and found that the most common marathon finishing time is 3 hours and 58 minutes. But why? To understand this, let's take a look at the chart of finishing times. Notice that many more people finish just under 4 hours compared to just over 4 hours. There is a huge cliff. It's almost as tall as the cliffs of Dover. Could this cliff be caused by Boston Marathon qualifying times? Only a small subset of runners has ever had 4 hours as their Boston qualifying time. Some males aged 60 to 64, and some females aged 45 to 49. Even if we remove these runners, 3:58 is still the most common finishing time. There are also other cliffs elsewhere that cannot be explained by qualifying times. Can the cliff be explained by left digit bias? In other words, does the cliff exist because people focus more on the hour digit than the tens of minutes digit, and likewise focus more on the tens of minutes digit than the minutes digit? No. If this were the case, we would see cliffs of similar sizes at 3 hours and 20 minutes and 3 hours and 30 minutes. However, the cliff at 3:30 is much larger than the cliff at 3:20. In general, cliffs at half-hour intervals are much bigger than cliffs at other 10-minute intervals. We also see cliffs at 15-minute intervals, which can't be explained by left-digit bias. The cliff is also not entirely due to pacesetters. Small marathons don't have pacesetters, but we still see cliffs. Also, 3:58 was the most common timing before pacesetters became like Justin Bieber. I mean, before pacesetters became a thing. Finally, in the Chicago Marathon, runners with an official time, that is, a chip time, between 3:58 and 4 hours crossed the finish line at very different timings. So we can also rule out pacesetters. Rather, a promising explanation has to do with goal setting. A 4-hour timing is a common goal. Surveys of runners show that it is one of the most common goals, if not the most common goal, of marathon runners. But simply saying that people set goals is not enough. People can set a goal to wake up at 6 a.m., but that won't make 5:58 a.m. the most common wake-up time. The other crucial part of the explanation is that once you have met your goal, further improvements do not bring you as much satisfaction compared to when you are just short of your goal. Here's a chart showing the relationship between one's satisfaction and one's performance relative to their goal. This chart was based on a survey of over 600 marathon runners. As performance gets better, satisfaction increases. But there's a huge jump when you meet your goal. After that, satisfaction barely increases even after you get faster. For the geeks out there like me, this is called reference dependence. People evaluate their satisfaction relative to a reference point, and things are different below the reference point compared to above the reference point. It's easy to see that if you're on track to finishing just slower than your goal, you put in a bit more effort to finish quicker. More importantly, you would start off the race trying to surpass your goal by a little. Indeed, that's what we observe at the 10 km mark, halfway mark, 30km mark, and 40km mark. Take a look at the timing distribution at the halfway mark as an example. There's still a big cliff in the middle. Many people would finish just under 4 hours if they continued running at the same pace. Also, at the 40km mark, runners are more likely to speed up if they have been running at around a 4-hour pace. In fact, you're most likely to speed up if you're at the bottom of the sea. I mean, bottom of the cliff.